up close and see blockbuster moments at their most spectacular. The widest range of entertainment in Ultra HD, only with Sky Q.
Paying tribute to the victims of terror, the Queen remembers London and Manchester in her Christmas message. The royal family go to church, with Meghan Markle expected to join them. Pope Francis draws on the Christmas story to highlight the modern-day plight of migrants around the globe.
So many other footsteps are hidden in the footsteps of Joseph and Mary. We see the tracks of entire families forced to set out in our own day.
The man who saved Christmas. Donald Trump claims he has led the charge against an assault on festive greetings. London's Euston Station is to be transformed today to welcome 200 rough sleepers for a full Christmas dinner. The fight against poachers. Rangers in Kenya have come up with a unique challenge to help protect rhinos. And what a way to spend Christmas morning. 837 Santas take to the waves in Florida, but of course, only one of them is real, and not that one. Very good morning and a very Merry Christmas to you all. The Queen will pay tribute to the cities of London and Manchester in her Christmas message later today, saying their powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks. Her Majesty will also praise the Duke of Edinburgh, who has retired from solo public duties, for his support and unique sense of humour. The Queen and the royal family are at church in Sandringham this morning, and so too, I believe, our royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills. Rhiannon, we have seen the royals arrive, and it looks like the crowds are even bigger than they usually are.
Do you know what? The crowds are enormous this morning. I think they actually restricted the number of people going in earlier than I saw them sort of restrict the numbers last year. I think some of it is down to, of course, Meghan Markle making her Christmas debut, but also people have talked about how they really wanted to see the Queen here as well. And it was about 5 minutes ago, ahead of that 11 o'clock service, that we saw the Queen arriving by car. I think, out of the corner of my eye, I think I saw that she had the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla, sitting alongside her. We also saw the rest of the family walking from the house here at Sandringham, heading towards St Mary Magdalene Church. And of course, the people that everyone has been looking out for is Prince Harry and his fiancée Meghan Markle, who were walking alongside the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Our cameras had a nice little wave from Meghan. She was wearing, I think, what it looked like a red hat. That literally was out of the corner of my eye, though, so I might be proved wrong on that one. Hopefully we can bring you some closer up pictures later on. But yeah, this is Meghan's first outing with the entire royal family, with the in-laws, of what is going to be many more of these big public royal outings in the future. Of course, after the church service, like most of us, they'll be heading back to Sandringham House to have lunch, and then it is, of course, traditional for them all to sit round and watch the Queen's Christmas message. And this year, the theme of that message is going to be home. Of course, it has been a difficult 2017 for many, a year when communities have been brought together by some awful acts of terrorism and tragedy. And in the Queen's message, she will talk about how we think of our homes as places of warmth, familiarity and love. There is a timeless simplicity to the pull of home. She also observes how home can extend to a town or city, and will add, this Christmas, I think of London and Manchester, whose powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks. So for that church service, they're going to be in church now, normally for around 45 minutes. We'll then see the royal family leave, and it's at that point that the crowds really get what they have been waiting for, when the royal family stop, take flowers, have a little bit of a chat before then heading back to the house for their Christmas lunch.
Rhiannon, many thanks indeed. Just a reminder, you can, of course, watch the Queen's Christmas message at 3 p.m. here on Sky News. Pope Francis will make his traditional speech from the balcony of the Vatican shortly. This Pope has, of course, never been shy of tackling controversial political issues. In his sermon at Christmas Eve Mass last night, he compared Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem to the forced migration of millions of people around the globe today.
Vediamo le orme di milioni di persone.
So many other footsteps are hidden in the footsteps of Joseph and Mary. We see the tracks of entire families forced to set out in our own day. We see the tracks of millions of people who do not choose to go away, but driven from their land, leave behind their dear ones. In many cases, this departure is filled with hope, hope for the future. Yet for many others, this departure can only have one name: survival. Surviving the Herods of today, who to impose their power and increase their wealth, see no problem in shedding innocent blood. Mary and Joseph, for whom there was no room, are the first to embrace the one who comes to give all of us our document of citizenship. The one who in his poverty and humility proclaims and shows that true power and authentic freedom are shown in honoring and assisting the weak and the frail.
Donald Trump claimed last night he had led the charge against an assault on saying Merry Christmas. The US president has previously attacked what he called a politically correct push to remove mention of Christmas from public life. Now, all of that despite previous presidents, including Barack Obama, regularly wishing Americans a Merry Christmas. Sky reporter Dan Whitehead is with me now. Merry Winterville to you, Dan. What's he talking about?
Well, he's saving Christmas, and we're grateful to him for that. It appears that there has been an assault being led on the phrase Merry Christmas, so he's taken to Twitter, not even Christmas Day, sacred from a Twitter storm at the hands of the US President Donald Trump. So on Twitter he has said, "People are proud to be saying Merry Christmas again. I am proud to have led the charge against the assault of our cherished and beautiful phrase, Merry Christmas." We've been doing some digging through the Sky archives, and we've been finding many a US president, from President Clinton and others through to President Bush, who have been saying Merry Christmas. President Obama as well, in one of his last Christmas messages.
Merry Christmas, everybody. One of the best parts of the holiday season is spending time with the special people in your life.
It appears that he hasn't brought back Merry Christmas. It has continued to be around, but we're grateful to him, and Merry Christmas to the US President.
And in terms of his activities, he's not in the White House, he's down in Mar-a-Lago, I believe.
Yes, he's down in the summer White House in Mar-a-Lago in Florida with, of course, his wife, the First Lady, Melania Trump. They have been speaking to children in Christmas Eve. They've been sat around the Christmas tree, Melania and President Trump, talking to excited children, asking them what they are looking forward to receiving from Santa.
What would you like more than anything else? What? Oh, that's good. Building blocks. That's what I always like too. So you want your grandma to get out of the hospital. That's what your wish is? That is great. That's better than asking for some toy or something, right? That's much better, right? How old are you, Ryan?
Donald Trump wanting some building blocks, as well as one of the callers. But he did get asked by one of the children on the phone in Mar-a-Lago what he would like for Christmas this year.
Well, I think we want peace. What do you think? Peace in the country, right? We've got prosperity, now we want peace. What would you like more than anything else?
Well, there you go. He wants peace. He's got prosperity. He wants peace. And we've also heard what Melania and Donald Trump had for their Christmas Eve banquet. It was turkey, it was beef tenderloin, and also popovers. That's the US word for Yorkshire puddings. I'm sure they're having a lovely, merry Christmas indeed.
Indeed. Dan, many thanks. Well, of course, Donald Trump wants peace. Another man who presumably wants peace this Christmas, Pope Francis. He's at the Vatican on the balcony at the moment, giving that traditional Urbi et Orbi Christmas address after yesterday urging the world's 1.3 billion Catholics not to ignore the plight of migrants. I believe he's talking about Syria at the moment. Let's listen in.
Patiscono le violenze del conflitto in Ucraina e le sue gravi ripercussioni umanitarie e preghiamo perché il Signore conceda al più presto la pace a quel caro paese. Vediamo Gesù nei bambini i cui genitori non hanno un lavoro e faticano a offrire ai figli.
Now, I don't know, your Italian is probably just about as good as mine, but we are endeavouring to find. Did we have the translation?
Rubata l'infanzia, obbligati a lavorare fin da piccoli o arruolati come soldati da mercenari senza scrupoli.
Childhood has been robbed, and who from a very young age have been forced to work or to be enrolled as soldiers by unscrupulous mercenaries.
A viaggiare da soli in condizioni disumane, facile preda dei trafficanti di esseri umani.
We see Jesus and the many children forced to leave their countries to travel alone in inhuman conditions and who become an easy target for human traffickers. Through their eyes, we see the drama of all those forced to emigrate and risk their lives to face exhausting journeys that end at times in tragedy.
Rivedo Gesù nei bambini che ho incontrato durante il mio ultimo viaggio in Myanmar, Bangladesh.
I see Jesus again in the children I met during my recent visit to Myanmar and Bangladesh, and it is my hope that the international community will not cease to work to ensure that the dignity of the minority groups present in the region is adequately protected. Jesus knows well the pain of not being welcomed and how hard it is not to have a place to lay one's head. May our hearts not be closed as they were in the homes of Bethlehem. Dear brothers and sisters, the sign of Christmas has also been revealed to us, a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes. Like the Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph, like the shepherds of Bethlehem, may we welcome in the baby Jesus the love of God made man for us. And may we commit ourselves with the help of His grace to making our world more human and more worthy for the children of today and of the future.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Ecce ancilla Domini.
Fiat mi secundum verbum tuum.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostre. Amen.
Et verbum caro factum est.
Et habitavit in nobis.
Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus.
Pope Francis, riffing on themes he gave in his Christmas Eve Mass address last night, where he compared the modern-day plight of millions of migrants to the journey taken, of course, by Mary and Joseph many, many years ago. London's Euston Station has been transformed today to welcome 200 rough sleepers for a full Christmas dinner. Network Rail has partnered with Street's Kitchen and St Mungo's to offer a free meal and a place to sleep on Christmas Day. Sky's Adele Robinson is down there now. And Adele, given that the rail network is closed, this seems like an entirely proper use of the station this Christmas Day.
Exactly. In fact, it's not the only UK public space that is going to be used today to serve Christmas lunch to homeless people. There are gyms and theatres across the rest of the country that are doing the same. But this is the first time that Euston Station has done it. It's quite odd to actually be here in Britain's 5th busiest station. Any other day it would be crowded with people. Let me just bring in John Glackin from Street's Kitchen. Thank you very much for joining us. Happy Christmas. Just give me a sense of how much this means to these people coming in here today.
It means the same as everybody else. It's a day to have a good meal. sit with your friends, have some fun, relax, you know, just enter the spirit of Christmas, you know. And that's what it is, you know, but this meal isn't any more special than one tomorrow or the next day. We're out every day of the week, and it's beautiful that on Christmas Day we're getting some attention for stuff. But as I say, in February and March, that's dark times for us also, when we really need support. But today will be a lot of fun. We've got the music, the boys and girls are just about to come in. I can see a few hovering about there. So in about 5 minutes, people are going to start coming in. The food's starting to land. We'll be serving food about 12:30. My head's going crazy because we don't know where we're at. I promised myself 6 o'clock I'm going to bed. I don't care whether I'm tired or not, but we're doing okay. Everyone's going well.
It's been a huge operation, hasn't it, to put this together?
It's a massive operation, great team and network. We have a lot of volunteers with Streets Kitchen too. Hundreds of people have got involved. You know, given their time. We've never asked for money or anything. No, we're just time. To spend some time. And that's what Christmas is really about, is spending some time in a building that all the times will be empty. And there's so many empty buildings in this country, you know. We could put them to use overnight. Simple things, and this is a simple thing.
And you're right, you make the point that this is not seasonal. This is obviously an important day for many people across the country, bringing families together, but the homelessness goes on throughout the year. And you said to me before it's going to get cold from Wednesday. That's something as a charity that you dread, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's like a kiss of death for us sometimes. Like, I mean, we've invited people here. I mean, one woman friend of ours passed away a couple of weeks ago through homelessness. She died at the age of 43. I mean, 43, that's the average age a woman dies in the streets of London, the streets of Birmingham. The cold weather, people die. There's no point sugarcoating this. People are going to die in this winter, and there's no need for it. There's plenty of empty buildings that we could put into use immediately and put those people indoors. Particularly in London, we've got lots of empty buildings, particularly in Manchester, Birmingham. I mean, a man froze to death in Birmingham last week. And fair play to Sky, you've had some very good coverage recently, and I was very fascinated about the different breadth of people. And one thing that definitely came through is grassroots groups like ourselves with no money who are out there doing the real work, and they really need some support. And it's not financial support these people are looking for, it's actually real support. Come out and volunteer with them. Look around, is there buildings that the council could give them? What we're in the business of is a very simple business, and that's just basically keeping people alive. And in the 21st century UK, I mean, that's a shame that we're actually engaging in that. But anyway, happy Christmas to everybody. You know, I don't want to depress you all, but let's all have a good day.
It's an important point to make, though. There are 200 people coming in here, but for the rest of the year, they still have these issues, you know, so it's important for you to say that. But thank you very much for your time. Happy Christmas, and I hope it goes well today. Thanks for joining us, John. As you can see behind me, people are starting to filter in for their free Christmas dinner. Some of these people have been sleeping rough in the past, some of them are in temporary accommodation, and they are actually being given sleeping bags as they come in, and they are being offered goodie bags as well, which will include warm clothes, you know, the simplest of things that you and I take for granted.
Adele, many thanks indeed. Let's return to Sandringham briefly. The royal family gathering for their Christmas service. You can see these pictures shortly. Here we are. And I'm sure you can tell by the size of that car who might just be about to appear. You can certainly tell the distinctive figure of the Queen, flanked there by Camilla, arriving for the service at St Mary Magdalene Church. You may well see that these crowds are somewhat swollen from last year. Of course, it's always a very popular time of the year to try and grab a view of some of the royals, but in attendance this year for Christmas, who hasn't been there before, of course, Prince Harry's fiancée, Meghan Markle. Plenty of people waiting and braving the cold. Glad to see everyone's got their blankets out and wrapped up warm. Prince Charles there, outflanked by his brother as well. Oh, in fact, we're about to see, I think, the prize of the day. Perhaps. Some of the younger members of the royal family arriving there. And there is Harry and Meghan. Meghan wearing a lovely coat and a stunning little brown hat there, actually. Merry Christmas to all of them as well.
You tap, you type, you swipe, same, but same. Stop. Y-O-G-A, draw, right, shines, bright, rocks. all night. Different is better. Win.
This is the 0811X driver from PXG. Without a doubt, it's the longest, lowest spinning, best feeling, sweetest sounding driver we've ever made. Kaboom, baby! PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
When it comes to their Plus account, there are some things TSB just don't do, like tempt you in with a great teaser rate and then take it away after a year. Or refuse to give you that rate if you want to use their branches. And they certainly don't only give their best interest rates to people who are willing to pay a monthly fee. What they do, however, is give you 3% interest on balances up to £1,500, without all that funny stuff.
Once upon a time, in the forest, there was a little robot. And some forest creatures!
But then, something in the forest was awoken. The ferocious leaf monster.
No one can save them!
No one, except the great forest whale.
Centre Parks. Get together again.
At Wickes, our biggest ever kitchen and bathroom sale is on right now. Choose from over 45 stunning styles. Book your free design appointment at wickes.co.uk.
Welcome back. Now, for the third in our series of reports into the body language of some of the world's leading figures. Yesterday, we had Theresa May, the day before Donald Trump. Today, well, we've asked our expert, Peter Collett, to analyse Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton would never have got to where she did if she wasn't a skilled communicator. But when it came to winning the biggest prize of all, the presidency, she was outmaneuvered in the body language battle. On the surface, Hillary seems to know all the tricks. When she's addressing a large crowd, she uses a number of distance signals. These include her exaggerated facial expressions, which are clearly visible even to people far away, and her habit of pointing and smiling at people in the audience. Here, Hillary is probably singling out phantom friends rather than people she actually knows. But the technique works because it makes her look like a friendly politician who really cares about individuals. And here's another of Hillary's distance signals, her drop-jaw smile, where the mouth is opened wide. This makes it look like she's laughing, enabling her smiles to absorb some of the contagious properties of laughter and therefore to become much more infectious. She uses her body language to connect with voters, but she can't match Trump's sheer strength.
Did anybody see that debate last night?
He comes across as powerful, and Clinton seems unnecessarily submissive. For a start, Trump looks bigger, moves slowly, and cultivates an air of gravitas.
By the end of this evening, I'm going to be blamed for everything that's ever happened.
Why not?
Why not?
During the debates, Trump rarely smiles. Clinton, by contrast, is smiling broadly.
Secretary Clinton.
Woo, okay.
Hillary crosses the floor to get closer to the person who's just asked a question. Trump hovers over her with his eyes narrowed and a menacing look on his face. Look how she often widens her eyes for emphasis. Now, while this helps to highlight the points she's making, it also gives her a wide-eyed expression that psychologists call the baby face. The problem for Hillary is that many of her characteristic behaviors are potentially submissive signals. This makes her look like someone who's in need of protection rather than someone who can be relied upon to deliver it. Hillary is undoubtedly a seasoned politician. Most of the time, she manages to conceal her true feelings. Here she's giving her concession speech. She's doing her best to appear composed, but notice how her smiling is reduced. Look closely and you'll see a tiny, unconscious gesture, the invisible tear wipe. Now, people do this when they're feeling unhappy, and they don't want anybody to know. One reason why Hillary failed to win the race for the White House is that she was outmaneuvered in the body language stakes. When voters were looking for a tough guy president, Hillary's submissive body language really just didn't fit the bill.
Nice stuff. And a reminder, we'll have 4 more of these in the next few days with Jeremy Corbyn, Melania Trump, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un still to come. Time, though, for a quick look at the sport with Gavin. Very Merry Christmas, Gav.
Yes, Merry Christmas indeed to you as well and to everybody else at home. England's Tom Curran has received a very special Christmas present after it was confirmed he'll be given his first test cap in the Boxing Day Ashes test against Australia. 22-year-old Curran will replace the injured Craig Overton as England look to salvage some pride from the series.
Tom offers a lot. I think he's a real competitor. He's got that similar sort of work ethic and the way he goes about things very similar to Craig, actually, and he's always wanting to get in the contest.
Australia skipper Steve Smith has confirmed he will play in the 4th test despite a freak injury to his hand in the nets. Smith suffered a scare on Christmas Eve when a ball driven by Cameron Bancroft burst over the nets and struck him on the right hand.
It was a little bit sore. It's more the back of my hand in here. Copped a few in the nets in Perth and a few more in the game, and just seems to be whenever you're getting hit in a spot, it just continually gets hit.
Australia coach Darren Lehmann has said he will not renew his contract when it expires in 2019. He's been head coach since 2013. Now, it may be Christmas Day, but clubs are still hard at work ahead of the January transfer window. Sky sources have told us Celtic have accepted a bid from Brighton for striker Moussa Dembele. We understand the 2 clubs have reached agreement on a transfer fee of £18 million. Dembele has scored 40 goals since he joined Fulham back in June 2016. And final preparations are being made for one of the highlights of the racing calendar, the King George VI Chase at Kempton tomorrow. Over 20,000 people will head to the course for the Grade 1 contest.
The track is in tremendous shape, actually. Ground is good to soft in places, although I would need
Oh, that is smart. Just like these amazing 6 months half-price winter deals from Tesco Mobile. Get this 1 GB SIM-only deal for a Diddy £5 a month for 6 months. Or get this whopping 6 GB SIM-only deal for just £8.25 for 6 months. Just 2 of the great SIM deals available now at Tesco Mobile. That should get your tail wagging. Smile. You're on Tesco Mobile.
Wait for it, wait for it! The biggest ever double discount sale starts Boxing Day at SCS with huge double discounts for early birds. This sofa's only $299. Early bird double discounts like this one, $379, but not for long. Almighty double discounts on carpets, plus SCS will pay for your fitting and 4 years free credit on everything. Don't miss this $499 early bird offer. Sale starts 9 AM Boxing Day at SCS.
When it comes to their Plus account, there are some things TSB just don't do. Like tempt you in with a great teaser rate and then take it away after a year. Or refuse to give you that rate if you want to use their branches. And they certainly don't only give their best interest rates to people who are willing to pay a monthly fee. What they do, however, is give you 3% interest on balances up to £1,500, without all that funny stuff.
You could spend hours planning a holiday yourself, or you could let Dial-A-Flight do it for you. Then dial down the stress. Dial up relaxing. Dial up the wow. Dial up the fun. One quick call and we'll create the perfect holiday, flights and hotels. You may be surprised how much you could save. Dial-A-Flight. One call, all the answers.
All right then. If you're up there, keep me sober today.
I came here to escape my past. It seems my past will not let me go.
It's the timing. This is not your moment.
Christmas. Day is almost upon us. Time to celebrate with the ones we love most.
It's absolutely magnificent! He's back in form!
And to look forward to our favourite drama. Festive football continues. To add Sky Sports, go to sky.com/sports.
You're watching Sky News. The headlines this Christmas morning. The Queen has arrived at church in Sandringham for the morning service. Later in her Christmas message, she'll pay tribute to the people of Manchester and London following this year's terror attacks. Pope Francis compared Mary and Joseph's journey to Bethlehem to the forced migration of millions of people across the world in his Christmas Eve sermon. And President Trump claims he has made it acceptable for Americans to start saying Merry Christmas again. Pope Francis has called for negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians to allow two states to coexist. He was speaking on the balcony of the Vatican in his Christmas address. Guatemala has become the first country in America, first country to follow America, I should say, in recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
We see Jesus in the children of the Middle East, who continue to suffer because of growing tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. On this festive day, let us ask the Lord for peace for Jerusalem and for all the Holy Land. Let us pray that the will to resume dialogue may prevail between the parties, and that a negotiated solution can finally be reached, one that would allow the peaceful coexistence of two states within mutually agreed and internationally recognized borders.
In his sermon at Christmas Eve Mass last night, the Pope likened the journey of Mary and Joseph to the migration of millions of people around the globe in the 21st century.
So many other footsteps are hidden in the footsteps of Joseph and Mary. We see the tracks of entire families forced to set out in our own day. We see the tracks of millions of people who do not choose to go away, but driven from their land, leave behind their dear ones. In many cases, this departure is filled with hope for the future. Yet for many others, this departure can only have one name: survival. Surviving the Herods of today, who to impose their power and increase their wealth, see no problem in shedding innocent blood. Mary and Joseph, for whom there was no room, are the first to embrace the one who comes to give all of us our document of citizenship. The one who in his poverty and humility proclaims and shows that true power and authentic freedom are shown in honoring and assisting the weak and the frail. The faith we proclaim tonight makes us see God present in all those situations where we think He is absent. He is present in the unwelcomed visitor, often unrecognizable, who walks through our cities and our neighborhoods, who travels on our buses and knocks on our doors. This same faith impels us to make space for a new social imagination and not to be afraid of experiencing new forms of relationship in which none have to feel that there is no room for them on this earth. Christmas is a time for turning the power of fear into the power of charity, into power for a new imagination of charity, the charity that does not grow accustomed to injustice as if it were something natural, but that has the courage, amid tensions and conflicts, to make itself a house of bread, a land of hospitality.
The Queen will pay tribute to the cities of London and Manchester in her Christmas message later today, saying that their powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks. Her Majesty will also praise the Duke of Edinburgh, who's retired from solo public duties, for his support and unique sense of humour. The Queen and the royal family are at the church in Sandringham this morning. So too Rhiannon Mills, who provides this report.
So you come especially for the concert, did you?
Yeah.
2017 has been a year that has brought communities together, with terrorist attacks in Manchester and London and the Grenfell Tower fire. Events that shocked the country, with the royal family sharing that grief, which is why the Queen's Christmas message will focus on the importance of home. She will say, "We think of our homes as places of warmth, familiarity and love. There is a timeless simplicity to the pull of home." Observing how home can extend to a town or city, she'll add, "This Christmas I think of London and Manchester, whose powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks."
For the Queen, home is really the whole kingdom and all the nations over which she is Queen. And indeed the Commonwealth as well. So it means a great deal to her to have the chance to make this speech. And her family is those who are around her, but also anyone who lives within the Commonwealth. So for her, she really feels this.
The photographs alongside the Queen are a reminder of her own family and the fact that she celebrated her 70th wedding anniversary with Prince Philip only last month. The Queen will pay tribute to her husband, praising his support and unique sense of humour in the year that he stepped back from his public duties. This Christmas, together, they'll both welcome a newcomer for their annual celebrations at Sandringham, with Meghan Markle spending Christmas in Norfolk with Prince Harry and the rest of the family in what some are seeing as a break with tradition.
I think a lot of people imagined that there were these hard and fast rules and that fiancés or girlfriends couldn't go to Sandringham at Christmas. However, I think what this invitation has shown us is that either the rules have been bent and the royal family has evolved and modernised, or actually they were never quite as rigid as perhaps people thought in the first place.
This year they are expecting even larger crowds in Norfolk, with Meghan making her Christmas debut, as the royal family again open up the gates of the Sandringham estate and share their morning with the rest of us. Rhiannon Mills, Sky News at Sandringham.
And a reminder, if one were needed, you can of course watch the Queen's Christmas message. That's at 3 o'clock here on Sky News. Islamic State has claimed responsibility for an explosion carried out by a suicide bomber in Kabul. Government officials say the blast, which killed 6 and injured 1, occurred close to a building used by Afghanistan's National Intelligence Agency. 20 people have been killed and 23 injured after 2 buses crashed in the Philippines. The larger bus was carrying pilgrims to a Christmas Day Mass when the collision happened. Authorities are investigating whether the driver, who was killed in the crash, had fallen asleep at the wheel or was perhaps under the influence. Police in Surrey are asking for help in reuniting a seriously ill man with his family after he was found unconscious in a ditch yesterday. The man, thought to be in his 20s, was wearing a red and white checked shirt with dark jogging trousers. Anyone with information is urged to please contact Surrey Police. A British woman held in an Egyptian jail accused of drug smuggling is expected to appear in court later today. 33-year-old Laura Plummer from Hull was arrested after she was found to be carrying 290 tramadol tablets in her suitcase, a painkiller legal in the UK but banned in Egypt. Ms Plummer's family claims that she was taking the tablets for her Egyptian partner, who suffers from severe back pain. Spain's King Felipe has used his annual Christmas Eve message to address the tensions following Catalonia's independence referendum. His speech follows last Thursday's regional election in Spain, where the separatist parties secured their parliamentary majority. The King called on the newly elected parliament to avoid confrontation, warning against further nationalist goals.
El camino no puede llevar de nuevo al enfrentamiento.
The road cannot be one that leads to confrontation or to exclusion again. As we already know, that only generates disagreement, uncertainty, wariness, and the moral, civic, and of course economic impoverishment of society as a whole. Instead, the road must lead to coexistence in the core of Catalan society, as diverse and pluralistic as it is, so that it recovers its serenity, its stability, and mutual respect.
Some rather hardy swimmers have been taking to the Serpentine in Hyde Park this morning. Many were up bright and early to take a dip in the lake. Now, the annual race started at 9 o'clock sharp. Swimmers have been taking part since the very first race began all the way back in 1864. Santa's usually spotted on his sleigh, but he seems to be trying something a little different this year. On this beach in Florida, 837 red-robed surfers hopped on their boards for a good cause. The event raised £35,000 for local charities and attracted over 10,000 spectators. Now, they had been attempting to break the Guinness World Record for the most surfers on one wave. Unfortunately, it was the one present Santa couldn't provide this year. The waves were, unfortunately, just a little too small. Cute wee puppy. Now, of course, Santa has been spotted all over the globe, but a small town in China has been invaded by Santa penguins. Children were invited to interact with the cloaked penguins at the Polarland theme park in northeast China. Let's return to the Royals' Christmas taking place at Sandringham today. Our royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills, is braving the cold to bring us the news. And we have seen, of course, the highlight of the day, I think, for many people in the crowd, it will be Meghan Markle and Prince Harry arriving for the service.
There are going to be some quite disappointed people in the crowds this morning. A huge number of people have turned up, and as a result, behind me you can see there are lots of people who've actually had to stay outside of the gates of the main Sandringham estate. So they're hoping that they will at least get a glimpse of the Queen leaving in her car. We have just seen some of the police manoeuvring into position to stand slightly in front of the crowd, so we are expecting the Queen probably to leave in the next 5 minutes or so, which means that that church service is likely to be over in the next 5 minutes. So, of course, the Queen's Christmas message is a highlight for many people on Christmas Day. 3 o'clock this afternoon, again, that will be broadcast. And it's a theme this year that she's decided to opt for is the theme of home. I think very resonating with lots of people around the country. A year when communities have really come together, when there have been some really difficult moments of real tragedy, and the royal family have been there to share in those moments of grief and also to praise those acts of bravery. And in her message, the Queen is going to say, we think of our homes as places of warmth, familiarity and love. There is a timeless simplicity to the pull of home. Observing how home can extend to a town or city, she'll add, this Christmas I think of London and Manchester, whose powerful identities shone through over the past 12 months in the face of appalling attacks. Of course, she will be surrounded by her own family today. We saw the Queen arriving in the car with Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, earlier on. Also, Prince Philip was at church, so that makes a change from last year, where where the Queen sadly wasn't able to go to the church service. We also saw Prince Charles as well, and the people that everyone was looking out for, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Meghan giving a little wave to the crowds as she walked into church. But of course, they are a newly engaged couple, but earlier on I managed to come across another couple who also wanted something to celebrate and had a little proposal of our own. Hopefully we can show that to you now.
I want to spend the rest of my Christmases with you, Ashley, so I want to know if you want to marry me.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So just so you know, that's Mike and Ashley, and I had been tipped off that was going to happen. How are you feeling? She said yes.
I'm feeling great. I'm excited.
And more importantly, Ashley, show us the ring then.
Okay, I'm going to take off my promise ring. He's already given.
Were you expecting it?
No.
How are you feeling?
Good. It's my grandmother's ring. So it's very pretty.
Oh, congratulations to both of you. So, yeah, another engaged couple, not just Harry and Meghan, who are going to be walking to church. And it was Kayla here who helped me kind of set this all up today, so well done. How do you feel it all went?
I'm excited. I'm a little emotional here. Yay. You know what? I have champagne.
So Mike and Ashley had made a poster saying, please come over to us and give us your royal blessing after they got engaged. You won't be surprised to hear that they weren't the only Americans in the crowd as well, here to watch Meghan carry out that debut here at Sandringham for Christmas. Meghan, of course, has already been through the Christmas Eve dinner that they traditionally have. Also, it's on Christmas Eve that the royal family exchange gifts. So hopefully she made it through that in one piece. And today, after the Christmas service, once she's carried out her second walkabout, because of course we saw her do one walkabout with Prince Harry a couple of weeks ago. Once she's done that walkabout, meeting some of the public outside church, they all head back to Sandringham House for Christmas lunch before then sitting down to watch the Queen's Christmas message.
Rhiannon, many thanks. Stick with us here on Sky News. Coming up next, we'll be meeting the park rangers in Kenya going the extra mile to try and save endangered rhinos.
Think of the one place you've always wanted to see. Feel it in your heart.
This is how we help our people. You brought us together. You're one of us now.
Either one of you know how to drive?
Tomorrow, I'm riding the bus.
Welcome home. Treat yourself to a feast of magical movies this Christmas on Sky Cinema.
This is the 0811X driver from PXG. Without a doubt, it's the longest, lowest spinning, best feeling, sweetest sounding driver we've ever made. Kaboom, baby! PXG, nobody makes golf clubs the way we do, period.
Same use, old news, same use, old news, stop. Y-O-G-A, draft it, draw it, write it, want it, be fierce, be fast, be different.
This is Louis. At just 19 months old, he was diagnosed with cancer. His childhood robbed by this terrible disease. He spent months in hospital having painful and invasive treatment. His mother unsure if he'd ever come home. No child should ever have to suffer like this. Please help save children like Louis by texting SAVE to 70025 to give just £3 to Children with Cancer UK. We receive no government funding, so rely entirely on your support to continue our life-saving research. Every day in the UK, more than 10 children and young people like Louis are diagnosed with cancer, but with your support we will help save young lives. So text SAVE to 70025 and give just £3 today. Let's beat childhood cancer together.
IKEA, hooray to the wonderful everyday.
Story that's getting lots of you excited on social media today. Donald Trump claiming last night that he had led the charge against an assault on saying Merry Christmas. The US president has previously attacked what he called a politically correct push to remove mention of Christmas from public life. That's despite previous presidents, including Barack Obama, regularly wishing Americans a Merry Christmas. Sky's Dan Whitehead is with me now. It is something of a gift for those who are not, how shall I put this, desperately well disposed to the president, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it is a treat, by all accounts, reading the president, that we are getting the Merry Christmas message, the ability to pass on that greeting back, and it is indeed getting a lot of traction online. This is the tweeting question. This is what he's been saying. People are proud to be saying Merry Christmas again. I am proud to have led this charge against the assault of our cherished and beautiful phrase, Merry Christmas. I wasn't aware of the assault on the message, but clearly it's something which he feels passionate about. Many people on Twitter keen to highlight to him that it was only a couple of years ago that he was saying Happy Holidays on Twitter, not the traditional Merry Christmas message. So guilty of broadening his Christmas greetings to his many millions of followers. But But we've been digging through the archives here at Sky News. We have found cuts from President Clinton and indeed from the former President Obama, who has been using the Merry Christmas message. This was his previous Christmas message to the US public.
Merry Christmas, everybody. One of the best parts of the holiday season is spending time with the special people in your life.
Well, there you go, President Obama there saying Merry Christmas, but President Trump proudly on Twitter on Christmas Day. We're blessed with another Twitter storm from him, bringing back the greeting Merry Christmas.
Just like us, of course, Dan, for the President, you know, Christmas time, you still have to get a bit of work done. He's been hitting the phones.
He has not been camera shy today. He has spent Christmas Eve in the US, down in Florida, with, of course, his wife, the First Lady Melania Trump. They have been by the Christmas tree making phone calls to very excited young children, excited for Santa to arrive, and he's been asking them what they're hoping for under the Christmas tree.
What would you like more than anything else? What? Oh, that's good. Building blocks, that's what I always like too. So you want your grandma to get out of the hospital, that's what your wish is? That is great. That's better than asking for some toy or something, right? That's much better, right? How old are you, Ryan? 5. Wow.
Building blocks. You can make a lot of things out of building blocks.
Yeah, what could you possibly make?
Stack them, a bit of a wall-like structure. Yes.
It's the Christmas message. Interesting, you could possibly look at the body language between Melania Trump and President Trump. They're facing away either side as they make those Christmas calls. One young caller, though, did put back the question to the US President, what exactly are you hoping for on Christmas Day?
Well, I think we want peace. What do you think? Peace for the country, right? We've got prosperity, now we want peace.
Peace is what President Trump is hoping for this Christmas. We already have the prosperity. Here's what he says, a little bit of a political statement perhaps there. During his conversation to a young child over what they want for Christmas. But those young children, lucky children, getting a call from the US President. Lots of details coming out, though, from the White House about what they've been doing down in Mar-a-Lago. We've been hearing about what they had at their big Christmas Eve banquet. The First Lady and President Trump tucked into turkey, beef tenderloin and seafood, along with side dishes of creamy kale, mashed potato and popovers. I had to do a quick Google about popovers earlier. They are Yorkshire puddings. That's what the Americans call Yorkshire puddings. So maybe some people will be having popovers today. Should you have popovers with a turkey?
No,
it's not a done
actually,
thing,
to be fair, I'm of the opinion you can have Yorkshire puds with pretty much any meal.
Yes.
Possibly not dessert. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm sure it's been done.
Dan, many thanks. Let's head to Kenya now, where rhino rangers are stepping up their fight against poachers with a unique fundraising challenge. Next year, they'll host an ultra-marathon with dozens of runners from around the world taking on the 5-day, 230-kilometre race, running alongside rangers, carrying rifles to protect their safety. Sky's Enda Brady has the story.
This will be a race like no other, through northern Kenya, where rangers risk their lives to protect endangered wildlife from heavily armed poachers. As beautiful as this place is, there's a war going on here against organised criminals who target rhino and elephant for their horns and tusks. Rhino horn fetches more than gold on the black market, driven by a huge demand in China and Vietnam.
It's like a big rhino bull, so the horns would have been very big.
Sky News has seen firsthand how ruthless these poachers are. 1,000 rhino a year in Africa are being slaughtered. But the rangers are fighting back. In 2018, they will host their first ever marathon to raise funds. Liz Winton from Oxfordshire campaigns for rhino conservation, raising thousands of pounds each year. She's training for a race that will bring in much needed cash to boost the rangers and their work.
Oh, it's immensely important. These are people from local communities who put their life on the line every day. A lot of them don't have proper clothing, they certainly don't have the ammunition that the poachers have, and so it's important that we raise money to aid them in this.
Liz ran the London Marathon this year in 5.5 hours in a rhino costume to raise awareness of their plight, and even has a rhino tattoo on her leg.
It will be the biggest challenge of my life. I've done a 100k ultra before. I've never run in a foreign country. I've never run in that sort of climate. It will be a huge, huge challenge, and one that I am very much looking forward to.
A new wildlife law in Kenya has increased punishments for poachers with life imprisonment and huge fines. The rangers' work is vital if the rhino population here is to survive.
You can have all the technology in the world, but unless you've got skilled, trained, equipped and motivated rangers, all that tech is useless. You've got to have boots on the ground, you've got to have people who are willing to put their lives on the line, and that all comes down to the rangers.
Just 10 rhinos were lost last year in Kenya. With money from initiatives like this, the rangers will have the firepower to keep fighting the poachers. Enda Brady, Sky News.
Pope Francis has called for negotiations between Israel and Palestine to allow two states to coexist. He was speaking on the balcony of the Vatican in his Christmas address. Guatemala has just become the first country to follow America in recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital.
We see Jesus in the children of the Middle East, who continue to suffer because of growing tensions between Israelis and Palestinians. On this festive day, let us ask the Lord for peace for Jerusalem and for all the Holy Land. Let us pray that the will to resume dialogue may prevail between the parties, and that a negotiated solution can finally be reached, one that would allow the peaceful coexistence of two states within mutually agreed and internationally recognized borders.
From warm, flowing island winds to an enchanting desert breeze.
Well, I hope you're all indoors and enjoying yourself, but if you have to head out, let's take a look at the weather. And Christmas Day is going to be cloudy and breezy with rain for northern and western parts, bringing some snow to the Scottish hills. We could then have a white Christmas. England and Wales, well, it's going to be mild, but it will be colder than recently elsewhere. Much of Scotland is looking likely to have a wet afternoon. With snow confined to the hills, but Ireland and Northern Ireland will largely dry up. Expect some late brightness for Western Ireland, but also a few showers. Meanwhile, heavy rain and strong winds will move into Wales and Western England. Some showers for the Midlands, but Eastern England should be staying dry. The Northern Isles will be mainly dry as well. Heavy rain accompanied by gusty winds will largely clear eastwards tonight, but southern Scotland and northern England will stay quite wet with snow on the hills. Wintry showers will follow into the west. It will turn frosty with the risk of icy stretches. Do watch out for those. At Boxing Day, colder. Most places, though, will be dry and sunny.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Coming up next here on Sky News, the Queen and the royal family are at church in Sandringham. And just look who they've been joined by, Meghan Markle.
When it comes to their Plus account, there are some things TSB just don't do, like tempt you in with a great teaser rate and then take it away after a year. Or refuse to give you that rate if you want to use their branches. And they certainly don't only give their best interest rates to people who are willing to pay a monthly fee. What they do, however, is give you 3% interest on balances up to £1,500, without all that funny stuff.
Sometimes it pays to be flexible. And it's even better when it's flexible and half price, like these cracking winter deals from Tesco Mobile. Get 6 months half price on the Samsung A3 for only £9.37 a month. Or get the Moto G5 for £6.69 a month for 6 months. You'll be head over heels with that. And because they're on our Anytime Upgrade Flex contract, you can change your tariff down or up at any time. Smile. You're on Tesco Mobile.
Christmas is a magical time, a time for presents and mince pies. It's a time of year when we can celebrate the happiness of childhood and the warmth of home and family. But for over 8 million Syrian children, this time of year is something quite different. The violence of war has forced many to flee their homes, and some have even lost their family. And now winter is here. Frightened children face freezing temperatures with no way of keeping warm. They need our help. Just £3 could help give a child a life-saving thermal blanket. Please text blanket to 70025 right now to give £3. UNICEF is on the ground providing life-saving blankets, warm clothes and toys to help keep children safe, warm and, perhaps for the first time in a long time, happy. You see the pictures in the news and it can be hard to know how to help. But by texting blanket to 70025, you can be there for these vulnerable children. Thank you so much.
This Christmas, get closer to the action in ultra-high definition with Sky Q. Catch the drama of the Premier League and enjoy unmissable movies in up to 4 times the detail. Experience the big game up close and see blockbuster moments at their most spectacular. The widest range of entertainment in Ultra HD, only with Sky Q.
This is Sky News at 12 o'clock. Our top stories. A first royal Christmas for Meghan Markle as she joins Prince Harry and his family in attending church. Paying tribute to the victims of terror, the Queen remembers London and Manchester in her Christmas message. Meanwhile, the Pope calls for peace and dialogue in Jerusalem as another country joins America in recognising it as Israel's capital. The man who saved Christmas. Donald Trump claims he has led the charge against an assault on festive greetings. London's Euston Station is transformed to welcome 200 rough sleepers for a full Christmas dinner. The fight against poachers. Rangers in Kenya have come up with a unique challenge to help protect rhinos. And what a way to spend Christmas morning. 837 Santas take to the waves in Florida. Very good afternoon and a very Merry Christmas. The Queen will use her Christmas message today to praise the powerful identities of London and Manchester that have shone through following this year's terror attacks. Well, as we show you the very latest pictures that we have of the Queen leaving that Christmas service on the Sandringham estate in just the past few minutes. Let's dwell for a moment on what we are to hear from her a little later on today. In her televised address to the nation, the Queen is also said to pay tribute to her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, who retired from solo public duties a little earlier this year. The royals have spent the morning at church in Sandringham, where they were joined for the first time by Prince Harry's fiancée, Meghan Markle. Speaking a little bit earlier on to our royal correspondent, Rhiannon Mills, the crowds do appear to be slightly swollen at Sandringham this year. We presume that is partly to do, if not entirely to do, with the celebrity guest appearance by Meghan Markle, of course, the fiancée of Prince Harry. In fact, we can now speak to Rhiannon, who is standing by there, all smiles, keeping an eye on events in and around the Sandringham estate. Just mentioning there those slightly swollen crowds around the Christmas service. Of course, every year plenty of people turn up to wish the royals a very Merry Christmas themselves, but there's a little bit of glamour sprinkled on top of the royal family this year.
Yes, I suspect there are a few people at home who are thinking, why on earth would I want to leave my nice, warm, comfy house and my nice Christmas presents and stand outside in the cold? But there have literally been thousands of people this morning who have been queuing up to try and get inside the gates of the Sandringham estate to watch the royal family head into church. It's been an unbelievable scene, really. I suspect some of it is to do with the Meghan Markle effect, the fact that this is one of the rare occasions that people are going to be able to see Meghan before Harry and Meghan get married in May. People have also talked about the fact that it has been very important, though, for them to come here today to see the Queen as well, who last year was too unwell to go to church on Christmas morning. Now, I've managed to grab a few people who managed to get incredibly close to the front of the crowds. So Karen is here. Hi. And introduce me to who you've got with you.
This is my daughter Rachel and this is my friend Sarah.
And Karen, why was it so important for you to come out today?
We're local and you know when you live somewhere and you set everything, it always happens, you watch it on the TV.
Yep.
We live close, we want to do this. It's only for a short time in the day. Yeah, so we're being local and proud to be British.
And did it live up to expectations?
It was amazing. Didn't expect it to be as busy as it was today, but it was really great and so pleased we came out for it.
And you were there as they walked in and also as they walked out?
Yeah.
And it's when they walk out that they tend to stop and talk to people, is that right?
They did, yeah, they didn't stop so much, but we saw them more on the way in, really.
Okay. And Karen has got the most remarkable photograph of Prince Harry and Meghan and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Yep. Hopefully we can zoom in so that we can see that photograph. I was saying to you, Karen, it looks like a photo shoot, doesn't it? It looks like kind of a fashion catalogue.
Done on the phone. Yes, I know. Yeah. It's lovely because they're holding hands and Meghan looks flawless. She looks lovely. And they were so friendly. Yeah, and happy. It was nice to see.
Give me your fashion critique as well. Kate wearing something.
Here I am in a scarf. A raincoat. I'm nobody to be given. She looks stunning. They all look lovely.